Hi everyone. I wanted to make you a follow-up video to our last two videos. If you are new to Google Classroom, I felt like there were some other things that you might want to know that will make your life in Google Classroom much easier. So I'm just going to kind of informally walk you through some of the features and some of the important things that you'll need to know to get some really good use out of Google Classroom during this third trimester. Of course, there are lots of online videos that you can watch, and Google has lots of resources, but I thought maybe I would just highlight quickly some of the most important things for you if you're limited on time and trying to get this figured out quickly. So once you have your Google Classrooms all set up, so imagine we did this. We set up our 4 classrooms for trimester 3. So here are my 4 classrooms. I have them here. I have periods C, F, H, and I. As long as you name them so that you can tell the difference apart, they'll be easy to click in between, and I'll show you what they look like in the pull down list. One of the things that you can do that's really nice is if you want these to be in the order of how they appear in the day, all you need to do is click on them and drag them and move them around. So if we have period C, then F, then H, then I, now we know that they're right in order. The nice thing about Google Classroom is that since we're teaching all of the same, if you were teaching all of the same thing this trimester, when you post something to one of your classrooms, you can easily post it to all 4 at the same time. From these buttons up here, you can, let's say you decide you want to rename this. This is too long. You can click the edit button and it allows you to rename your class. You can add a section. If you want to say it's science, if you want to add a room number, you can change anything from here, and then you would just click save if you want to change that name. You can also make a copy of a classroom. So once you have one classroom set up, if you just want to copy it and rename it, and you want to do that 3 more times, then you will have all of your classrooms set up. The archive feature allows you to take a class, say a second trimester class, and archive it. It won't show up on this view anymore, but you can always access it and you can make it active again. That's what I've done with Physics C. Just for an example to show you some things, I pulled that out of my archive. So that's an easy thing to do. Here, this will show you the students who have joined. So once you invite your students, I can see that in this class, 7 students have joined already. I have 6 students here, 3 and 9. So when you're waiting for students to join or you're reminding them next week that they need to join, you'll see how many students you have in your class. So I'm going to use this Physics C class. This was from second trimester as an example. So when you open this, this is what your stream will look like, in a typical trimester where we're not really going by weeks. This was last trimester's stream. You'll see all of the posts and all of the assignments and everything that you add in chronologic order, with the most recent thing at the top, the oldest thing at the bottom. And you can see how this might get a little overwhelming. So that is why we're using the classwork feature in order to categorize things for students. So this is what mine looked like at the end of the trimester, the second trimester. So here we decided we were going to have one topic for all of our assignments for March 30th through April 3rd. But before that, I had my course syllabus. I had a PowerPoint with daily goals and agenda for students to do their makeup work. We had honors posts. I had all my Google Forms, documents, and students were used to this. So once you kind of establish how you want to have this set up, they get used to it very quickly. So you know that this trimester we'll just have weeks 1 through 9 set up here. Now all of your topics show over here and you can quickly jump to them. So if I want to jump down to online assignments, it shows all of them easily. Again, once all of your students and your co-teachers are here, you'll see the difference now. All of the names are showing up in bold. They're not kind of grayed out. So we know that all of the students here have joined. If you want to email all of the students in a class, you can click this button and it highlights all of them. It puts a check beside each one of their names. And for actions, you choose email, and it will take you directly to your email. It will put all of their email addresses in the BCC, which is exactly what you want. You can send a copy to yourself. add your subject and whatever body of the email you want, and you can email all of your students at one time. So you can click send. So that's a really nice thing to be able to do. You can also just email one student at a time. So this is where you can see all of your students. So I want to go back to classwork. We talked about assigning a document. So let me use something that I assigned last trimester at the end. So this 9th grade physics Try 2 wrap-up document. Okay, it looks like this. When we want to click View Assignment, what you will see, now this was when we had assigned a document for each student. So this was my title, these were the directions that I typed, and then I added a document and I made a copy for each student. So this is what they see, and then when they click on this, they each have their own copy. So this is your view. You can see it was worth 30 points. It had the due date associated. Now when you go to student work, this is your view to be able to grade this work. So every student's copy of their document will show up here. And you can see the students who were not engaged last trimester. At the end, it will show up as missing if they don't turn it in by the due date. Once you grade it, it will show up as graded. And if you allow students to resubmit, it will show up as resubmitted also. So all of these students turn their assignment in and I graded it. Over here is where all of the grades are recorded. So you can sort these by status or alphabetically, by last name, first name, or by their status. So by status, we have the resubmitted assignments at the top. We have the assigned. There are students who were not engaged, and then we have the students where we graded all of their assignments there. So to grade assignments, you just open any one of them. It will show you their work. You can go through, in this case I highlighted answers that were incorrect. You can go through and grade. I just had students fill in the correct answers over here. And then you can add their score. So Cruz scored a 26 out of 30. So you would just type that in. You can make private comments. I could make a comment to Cruz if he were halfway finished with it. I say, you might want to check the answer to number 8. I'm not sure about that. And post that, and he can see the comments. And then once it's graded, you'll click the return button, and they'll be able to see their graded assignment. Then if you want to move on to another assignment, you can either use the pull down menu and you can click on any of these, or you can use the arrow and it'll move to the next piece of work in the list. So this is what it looks like. So let's say I wanted to, let's say Matt went in and did some work and I wanted to change that grade. I could just give him a 20 out of 20. I can click return and he would be able to see that grade. When you have them all graded, you'll see grades for all of these over here. Now these students obviously didn't get a 0, but for my own records, the 0 just tells me that they were not engaged and that they didn't turn anything in. We scored that last trimester, but the students, this doesn't enter into your into your portal gradebook unless you want to integrate that. There is an integration feature to be able to automatically copy your grades over, but that doesn't. This is just for you and the student. So if you tell your students a 0 means you didn't turn it in and you need to hurry up and do it, then that can be kind of communication between you and the students. But this is how you would grade an assignment. And then you can just exit out of that assignment and go back to this screen. Depending on how you have your classroom set up, it can actually alert you if a student turns in something late or resubmits something. So when you come back over here and you want to see all of your classes again, you just click on the classes and they'll all reappear like that. You also have a couple other options over here. You can go to the bottom and you can actually see all of your archive classes. So these are all of the past classes that I've used, that I have archived. They're not active, but I can open them up and find things and go back and refer to them anytime I like. And then you also have some settings over here. And this is where you can receive email notifications. You can allow comments between you and the students on your posts. This is where you can receive notification if students turn something in late or they resubmit. So you can really customize Google Classroom to to any of your preferences, and it can do pretty much anything you would like it to do as far as notifying you, closing things down, allowing students to comment. There is a calendar feature, so once you start setting due dates for your assignments, they will show up on the calendar. So this is blank right now, but if I had something for a class that was due, it would show Friday the 24th it would be due. So that's nice that all of your assignments will show up on the calendar. You can also make yourself a to-do list, and it also populates with your due dates. So if I just want to look at, Physics C, this tells me sort of where I stand in grading. This is really overpopulated because it was the end of last trimester, but if you want to try to keep track of everything that you've looked at or haven't looked at, you can see there were 9 assigned, 1 was turned in. These 9 assigned assignments were ones that students didn't open. 1 was turned in. 15 were graded. So there were 17 assigned, 8 turned in, 13 assigned, and 12 turned in. So this is kind of a nice little to-do list to try to keep up. Obviously, at the end of the trimester, you would want all of the assignments to be graded, and you can choose your class here, whatever you're looking at. So it's a nice to-do list to try to keep you on track. I'll show you one more thing when you're posting an assignment. When you want to create it, to create here, make sure you're going to put it in the correct topic. But we did this one today. If you want to create an assignment, this is if you want to assign a document. If you want to make it a quiz and you click this, it will open up a Google form for you. So right now it says blank quiz, but if you already have your quiz created, you can find it on your Google Drive. And let's say I want to choose something that I already have created. So I had put all of my assignments for the last week of the second trimester in one folder so that they would be easy to find. So if you want to, well, it's not opening. Let's try recent. So let's say that I had created an exit ticket here. This is just a generic one, but you could just click on the exit ticket that you had created, add that. It shows up right there. You can give it a title, give the instructions. Here is where you can assign it to more than one class. So if I wanted to assign it to physics and I wanted to assign it to try 3 practice and any of these other classes, I would just pick more than one class, and it will assign it and assign it to all students. Set your point value. It's only going to be, let's say, 10 points. Have your due date. Maybe we want that Friday night at midnight. And then this is where you want to be sure to set your topic, whatever topic so we're having by week. So you would have week 1 or week 2 or week 3, wherever that falls. And then the really nice thing is this originality report. So if it's a Google document that you're assigning and you want to see if students' answers are similar or exact to other students that you have, or it comes straight off the internet, you can click originality reports and you'll get a report if it shows up that there's any type of plagiarism. Okay, so that's an easy way to assign a Google form. Eventually, all of the things that you grade in Google Classroom will show up over here. So we can talk about that later in another video. But hopefully this helped you to get started with Google Classroom. Please reach out if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.